Hi, I'm so happy you're here. Welcome to the Let's Keep Moving with Risha podcast. This is Risha. I'm a motivational speaker, content creator, and I love talking about things that will help you keep moving in your life, especially on areas like your mental health, love, growth, and everything in between. So if you're ready, let's keep moving. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know, but today is such a good time to record something for this week. Kasi a lot has happened the past week. Kakatapos lang ng midterms week. So, sa mga nasa university dyan, you know what I'm talking about. But I only had three examinations. And it was last Wednesday and Thursday. And so, free yung Friday ko. And I was able to attend our church recollection day for a local junior high school. So, I think it's really what I want to talk about in today's episode because I think it's so relevant and it's going to be so helpful for everybody, especially to you. And I just want to go back to how I used to start serving sa mga community kasi habang nag-attend ako or nagsiserve ako dun sa recollection, I realized how nostalgic that was. Grabe yung mga kasama naming mga bata doon. They're like 15, 16 years old. So, we're like more than half a decade older than them. Kasi 23 na kami, 16 sila. So, parang ang layo ng age gap. And kapag ganun kalayo yung age gap, there's just like so much exchange of wisdom and love and so much opportunity to learn from each other and to learn about God. So, it was a healing Friday for me last week. And nakakapag-ganun naman ako ever since I started this whole content creation thing. Since I was also part of different communities in Manila, like Momentum, Discovery. Well, Discovery, naging student ako. But for Momentum, I became a staff. So, it's kind of similar. But at some point when I attended recollection, I felt like it's home and it feels so good to be back to serving. Kasi alam ko, nabanggit ko na to sa inyo before na I used to be a student leader way back high school ever since 7th grade until 12th grade. So that's like 6 years of my life. And then when I turned to college, even when I was still in engineering, I didn't have the opportunity. I don't know why. Maybe I realized I was an introvert at the time. And then nag-shift na nga ako from engineering to psych. So parang I didn't have like the guts or even a little courage to just be part of something bigger than I am or like be part of a cause, be part of an organization at school. So parang hindi ko na din siya na-push through. Diba? Parang meron tayong mga moments na siguro sa university na parang, I could do well on that, pero wag na lang. Focus na lang ako dito sa school, focus na lang ako sa studies. Well, there are people who are called to do so. Siguro, part kayo ng mga taong really find it very enjoying to be part of an organization or a student leader group. Pero siguro at that time nga, I had a lot, and even during at this moment, I had a lot of responsibilities to take. I had work, I had school, I had content creation, I do like consistent recording and all that. And this is like a career ahead of me. So parang I had to pick, and student leader organizations and all that has to be put on hold. Or I guess I had to leave that part of myself. Or parang sinasabi ko din siguro sa sarili ko na tapos na ako dun sa mga season na yon. Pero yun nga, last Friday, it was so surreal. It was so nostalgic. It's amazing to be around people who get you and who are willing to meet you where you are. I don't know, but it started early kasi. So, kasama namin sila sa church. Kasama ko si Jurens doon, yung friend ko na si Jael and si Bianca. And I kind of got this realization na this is what it feels like to be part of a community. So I think that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. for those 5 years kasi na wala ako sa ganitong community, I felt like I lost a sense of community, but I also know I was part of the reason why. And I have to be honest that I enjoyed it. I enjoyed not being part of an organization, of a community, because it allowed me to be more present with myself, more grounded, and it allowed me to enjoy my company. Kasi nung high school ako, I'm used to having a lot of friends. I could go well with everybody. Like, kaya mo kong ilagay kung kaninong grupo. And I could blend with all of them. But when college came nga, just like what I said, I learned to enjoy my company. That I can do absolutely everything just by myself. Like, really. I started content creation with just my belief that I can put myself online. And I started working alone, basically. So, started all these freelancing thing journey. Even if none of my friends ever do the same thing, I started traveling alone. I started going to coffee shops alone. I go to university alone. So, na-enjoy ko siya. And it was also during this moment na I learned to trust myself. I mean, that's a whole lot of other thing to talk about. Pero, isa sa mga natutunan ko with just being myself. Pero, that's only the tip of the iceberg pala. There's a price I have to pay. And that's not really something that I regret doing. And I think that price is not having a community with me. Kasi parang nakikita ko nga yung friend ko, which is yung nag-invite sa amin sa church, na he feels so secured with his community. Nagkakaroon siya ng pahinga every weekend. Parang yun yung wala ko before. And I'm so happy that little by little, right now, ang sarap pala sa feeling na meron kang community, meron kang group of people aside from your friends, aside from your family, people who are just open to your ideas, to your story, to your values. So today, we're going to talk about that. I hope this is just going to be as insightful as I expect it to be kasi super timely. It's so rare that I get to have like this flow of thoughts na like right after that experience share ko siya agad sa podcast. But thank you so much for having me here with you. It's an honor to spend time with you. So if you're ready to know why is it so important to have a community and how can you start having one, then without further ado, let's keep moving. By the way, before we ever get started on this exciting episode, if you are watching this episode before March 29, 2025, then I have an exciting announcement for you. I know 2025 got us all off guard, and if you're feeling a little lost or overwhelmed about where your life is heading this year, then this is for you. I will be hosting a live 3-hour quarterly review session this March 29, 2025, where I'll personally guide you through a step-by-step process to reflect, recalibrate, and create an execution plan for the next 90 days or let's say quarter 2 of 2025. No more excuses. This is your chance to reset and take action. I've been wanting to host this for the longest time, and finally, we're conducting this online so everybody gets to attend. I want this to be the best experience for everybody. So this March 29, we will be covering a lot of amazing stuff, like how do you review what's working and not working on your life and on your business or whatever you're doing. How do you set clear and realistic goals for quarter 2? Yes, just for quarter 2. And how do you create an action plan that you'll actually follow? And of course, we will be including live coaching, an ebook, and an access to the replay. It's only for an affordable price, and trust me, this is the most valuable 3 hours that you'll invest in yourself this quarter. This is only going to be for a limited number of people, so make sure you grab your spot now at the link below. And this is the most exciting part. The first 10 people who get to register will get a 50% discount. You just have to check the discount code below. I'll see you there, and let's make your next 90 days the best quarter yet. Let's get back to the episode. Oh, I feel like this is the first time I have my hair short on the podcast. Yeah, I got it. But anyway, the first thing is, we're not meant to do life alone. While I was brainstorming for this episode, this is what I thought of. We're not meant to do life alone in all aspects of our lives. And when you're going through something tough, 'di ba, who do we turn to? It's our parents, it's our family member, it's a friend, a mentor. And think about it, when something good happens to us, what's the first thing you want to do? We tell it to someone. We would want to tell it. We would want to share it, that experience, that win with someone. And since I've always been honest here, I thought I can do life alone. I thought that just because I get to go to coffee shops alone, I get to do my thing alone, I get to travel alone, I thought I can do things alone, that it's enough to do things alone. But I realized that we need people. And humans are wired for connection. And therefore, we have to take advantage of that opportunity. And life is not meant to be a solo mission. Having a strong community means that you have people to lean on, you have people who you can trust when you're struggling, and people to celebrate with them when things go right and when things go exactly as you expect it to be. And let's not deny it that when we have people in our corner, it makes the journey easier and a whole lot more fun. I have to be honest. Like, nung nandun ako last weekend, last Friday specifically, I felt a sense of relief talaga. And I felt a sense of community na, oh my God, after 5 years, after half a decade, I finally feel like I can do things because I love doing things. I can do things and not think of how tired I am the whole week, because this is how I serve. This is how I give back. And it's so fun to do that. I don't know why. There's just this magic na parang, oh, I don't have to be anyone else here. I just have to think of how I can serve these people. And hopefully, you're in this season where tapos na tayo dun sa, hindi naman sa tapos, pero I hope that we enjoy other or being with other people just as much as we enjoy our own company. Kasi I think the pandemic had already given us time to enjoy our company, to spend time with ourselves. I think it's time for us, after half a decade, after 5 years after the pandemic, we get to enjoy people's company as well. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard because you might have had a bad encounter with people. But that's a whole lot level to talk about. That's a different one. It really involves knowing who you trust and what community are you going to put yourself in. Parang ibang level na yon. But I hope that this conversation that we have right now would kind of open your mind to the possibility that I think it's time for me to open myself up, to share my light to people, and to realize that this life I have, I'm not meant to do it alone. And aside from my friends, from my family, from the people I care about and I spend time with, maybe I can go out there. Kasi the world is huge, diba guys? The world is huge. You have no idea na if you just put yourself out there, you can save a life in one way or another. That someone out there would get inspired by your story. Someone out there might be experiencing the same thing. And only if you put yourself out there would it happen, diba? So hopefully that spoke to you just like how that spoke to me. Never lock yourself up. Never cage yourself, because you have no idea how this life is not meant to be done alone, and there's an opportunity for you to touch other people's lives. And yeah, I guess that's it for my first point. If you're currently finding value in today's podcast episode, Thank you so much. And I'd love for you to share this with a friend or give yourself a moment to give this a 5-star rating. Like, this would really mean a lot to me and to the whole community. Your ratings and reviews really help us reach more people, and it will help me and us to reach more people and continue delivering meaningful content. So that's it. For the first one, yeah, we're not meant to do life alone. We need people. And I hope that as early as now, I get to encourage and inspire you that if some people are scary, some are not. Like, you have no idea. People are willing, like, to go out of their way to help you, to make you feel like you're home. And you don't even have to force that if you are in the right community. The next thing that I'd like to talk about is the importance of understanding that growth happens when you are surrounded with the right people. And oftentimes, you've got to learn this the hardest way. I was listening to a podcast by Alex Hermosi, again, himself. I don't know, but this person got content creation and business and entrepreneurship on a whole different level. Parang puro na lang ako whole different level, different. Pero I'm listening to his content the past few weeks. I've been immersing myself on his words and super straight to the point, super direct na mga thoughts niya. And when you listen to him, pinapakinggan ko kasi yung mga guestings niya sa mga podcast, sa mga pinapakinggan ko talaga originally. You will just be blown away kasi magme-make sense yung sinasabi niya. And sabi niya, sa isa sa mga podcast episode na yun, if you want to change your behavior, you've got to change your condition. And I was like, yeah? If you want to change your behavior, you've got to change your condition. If you want to study, you have to surround yourself with people who study. If you want to exercise, I think it's going to be helpful if you surround yourself with people who do exercise. If you want to eat healthier, you've got to surround yourself with people who eat healthy foods. If you want to do something fun and do an adventure, you've got to surround yourself with people who are not afraid of taking risks. And I think we often forget that. Ever noticed how you're motivated around people who are motivated as well? And mind you, if you just get to have this conversation with the right people, parang bigla na lang may light na bulb sa utak nyo na, oo nga no, and then you get to start moving. I don't know, but I think I've just been very careful with the people that I spent time with very recently, especially this year. You know, it has to be a yes talaga bago ako mag-share ng time, ng energy sa mga taong to. And I hope that it will also inspire you to do the same thing. The people in our circle either push us forward or hold us back. And if you hang around people, listen to this, if you hang around people who are always complaining, who are always making excuses, who stay stuck in the same patterns, chances are you start to pick up on that energy too. But the beautiful thing about it is that if you surround yourself with people who are growing, learning, open, and pushing themselves to their potential, you will naturally start doing the same thing. And it doesn't have to be forceful or it doesn't have to be against your will because you will be inspired. Like, literally, you will get inspired. And I love saying how this is commonly talked about online. Kasi parang we tend to, I don't know, but we just talk about this ni Jurens I think a few days ago. Or kahapon lang, di ko alam. Pero there's this content creator nga who got heavily bashed yata sa TikTok for sharing or self-praising or what. And while the opinions of other people are valid, Like, we get it. Di ba? Kapag mababasa mo talaga yung mga comments ng mga tao na, ay, nagiging self-praising na tong lalaking to, or na tong babaeng to, or what, you'll get them. You'll somehow agree with these people. But at the same time, I was talking with Durance earlier because I got another perspective on how we should handle things and how we should understand it. That's only a part of his life. Like, we don't know the whole him. It might be just his content. It might just be a part of him. Like, we don't know how he lives his life. Because what people are showing online is just a part of it. But at the same time, some people are not even aware. But, it's relating to what we've talked about. If you get inspired by people doing this, I think there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to surround yourself with people who feel abundant, who self-praised, who value material things, and you want the same thing, why not? For as long as you know your core. For as long as you know your way back home. I mean that figuratively. Diba? Kasi parang, you could, kasi diba, when you're surrounded with people, you take their energy eh. You could pick up their energy like what I told you. So, kung ang taong to ay puro complain, puro reklamo na wala siyang pera or what, or puro gossip, you would start to pick up that behavior soon, especially if you spend a lot of time with this person. But if these people inspires you, if these people inspire you to do better, to work harder, to do great things, I don't think there's a problem with that. And hopefully, we take things positively. Hindi naman toxic positivity, pero sana we see other people as inspiration, not something to be jealous of. We could put our judgment out there, pero at the very core, do we need that judgment anyway? Ayun lang. I feel like ngayon, my advocacy is not just about mental health, but, inspiring people to do better and to behave and to be kind. Let's not forget that. You will never go wrong being the bigger person. I mean that. The world might throw struggles on you or trolls on you or what not, but don't change your heart. And I guess this is what the importance of having a community is. You get to have people who humbles you and who grounds you. Hindi man sila yung tao na siguro magpapayaman sa'yo, hindi man sila yung tao na, magbibigay ng business idea sa'yo, hindi man sila yung tao na, makakapagtulong sa'yo para gumawa ng mga malalaking bagay or yumaman or what. But they could be people who humbles you. They could be people who inspire you. They could be people who give you a little perspective about life. They could be people who brings you closer to God. And sometimes kasi, when we talk about community, feeling natin, they are the people na kailangan may abundant mindset, kailangan may ganitong mindset. But sometimes, we don't have that community yet. And we're not ready for it yet. And we're not presented with that opportunity yet. And we just don't want that opportunity just yet. And it's okay to be on places where you get a different level of benefit. Where it humbles you nga, it gives you a sense of inspiration, it inspires you to be better, to do good things to others. It's completely okay. Because growth happens faster when you are surrounded by the right people. And I mean that growth on different levels of your life. Not just in terms of financial stuff, but spiritual, personal, mental, emotional. It could be a lot of different things. But it's for you to decide. Always. And These people talaga will remind you to be accountable of your actions. Kailangan you surround yourself with people who inspire you to be accountable. That life will not always go your way and you will do mistakes, but at the very core, be accountable. Show up and do what you told yourself you would do. And moving on to the last one that I'd like to talk about, which I think is really the basis of what happened to me last week, is that support goes both ways. Like, really, support goes both ways. Hindi pwede na tanggap ka lang ng tanggap. Hindi din naman pwedeng bigay ka lang din ng bigay. So, you grow when you give. You really grow when you give. And here's something a lot of people don't realize talaga, that giving support is just as powerful as receiving it. When you show up for others, whether it's like encouraging a friend or being there for a family member or helping someone through a tough time or even checking on them, it strengthens you too. There's so much power in serving other people. There's so much power in being part of something. There's so much power in just, in checking in with other people. There's so much power in that. And you have no idea it strengthens your character too. You get a little perspective. Diba? Think about that time where you gave someone an advice and you have no idea na I needed that advice too. Like, alam ko pala yun. I should follow my own advice. And I don't know why sometimes we go to the extent of you cannot give what you do not have. And while that is the truth, totoo naman talaga. You cannot give what you do not have. Literally and figuratively. Somehow. But you can start somewhere. Like, you can give something not because you have it, but because that is what is needed. Or that comes from a place of not experience, but that comes from a place of soul. So I was listening to this podcast again. Bigla lang nag-pop up sa utak ko yung episode ni David Guillaume again with Lewis House, and sabi niya, if you will just, because he was a spiritual teacher for 20 years, he wasn't paid to do it until a few years ago, but he wasn't paid for like a decade or what. Pero sabi niya, if ang basis niya lang sa pag-share niya ng spirituality and ng work niya na yon is experience, mauubusan siya. But if what he is doing comes from a place of soul, hindi siya mauubusan. So I hope you get what I mean when I say na you can give something because it comes from your soul. Because you know that is what is needed in that situation. Because you know that that person needed it and you can be the bigger person and you can step up. I don't know how powerful that message is, pero sana maintindihan nyo din na you can give an advice to a friend even if you didn't experience that same thing. You just feel like it in your core and you have your basis and you feel like that's the right thing for her and it's not for her to like follow it. Siya na bahala doon, but you just felt like it's right. Say it. And say it with respect. Say it with so much love. Because you'll never know the words that might come out. It might save that person. It really might save that person. You have to remind yourself that support goes both ways. And when you grow talaga when you give back to your community, when you give back to the people you love, when you give back to the people around you, or when we pour into others, yes, we can pour from an empty cup. Totoo, like what I'm telling you. But we grow with empathy, with patience, and with understanding. And we can do that to everybody else. Like, we can do that. Let's not make it as an excuse that I still don't have this, I still don't have that experience, I cannot step up because I still lack that experience, to not help. Like you can do that. Ewan ko, pero I think let's not go to the extreme ends of things na porket sinasabi natin na you can pour from an empty cup doesn't mean that we have nothing to offer to people who needs our help, diba? So yeah, I think that's what this episode is all about. It's important that you understand how powerful having a community is. You ever notice, diba, how it feels lighter when you have the right people around you? And that is exactly because we're not meant to live this life alone. And the truth is, no one succeeds in a vacuum. Your mindset, your growth, and even your happiness and fulfillment, so much of it is influenced by the people in your corner. So make sure that you have the right people in your corner. The right community kasi will challenge you. The right community will support you. The right community will remind you who you are on days you don't even know who you are. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to go to the next level, and surround yourself with people who inspire you. And do not just look for support, ha? Be that support for someone else. Find your people. Be that person for someone else, because life is a whole lot easier and way more fulfilling when we keep moving forward all together. That's about it, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope you learned something. It's weird because, like what I told you, that story was just very recently that I was able to be part of a recollection, which I haven't been on. Which I haven't been able to be part of for like the past year. So thank you for the Q&A. Tell us about your community. Do you have one? And for the poll naman, yun nga, do you have a community now? Is it a yes, or you're looking for one, or no? But I want you to know that you have a community in here. We're growing. I love it. I love that people are more and more open to talking about their vulnerable side. And thank you for allowing me to be part of that. Maraming salamat. You have a community in us. I'm just figuring out a way how all of us will get to connect together. I created a group chat naman before, pero siguro I wanna start being active there kasi hindi ako masyado active. But yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, then please share it with a friend. Since we started season 2, I love it when you guys share it with a friend. I don't know, if I just listen to a great podcast, you have no idea. I send it to my friends. I send it to people who might benefit from it. Even if they're not listening to podcasts maybe. But anyway, at least I sent it to them. But I hope you can send this to a friend because they might need it to hear these words. And you can also share your takeaways on social media. And tag me, please. I'm begging. I'm looking forward to it. And again, this has been your friend and your host, Risha. Know that I'm grateful for you. I've always been. And I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you big time. And I'll see you soon. And until then, don't forget to always keep moving. Bye.